Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hello to you wherever you are in the world. This is Adobe Live, and I am Renata Cherry. I'm the marketing manager for drawing and painting. I'll be your host today. And this is the second day of a 3-day run here with RobZilla, who's going to be working on some sweet art for us. Now, let's do a little recap of what we did yesterday. So, Rob, can you tell the people out there what happened on yesterday's stream and where we're going today?
So yesterday, Renee and Rob found themselves in a paradox, which
we did.
but yesterday we did a little bit of moving from Sketch to and not the app Sketch, but moving from a line sketch to do what I consider the inking stage of the whole entire thing. And we added some beautiful vector line work.
And we're in Fresco, right? Adobe Fresco.
Adobe Fresco. I think that's the name of it. Yeah. But we had some fun. We used a lot of Thunderbolt emojis.
Yes, we did.
And so we're working on illustrations for the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said yesterday, it's going to be comprised of 3 different players. And I'm going to send it out as a coloring page. So this neat art, this neat line work is going to be a coloring page, but don't just consider it like a coloring page. This is just the initial steps of an illustration without me taking it to full color.
Right.
So that's what we did. We got busy. We had fun.
And what's cool is that was your time lapse in Adobe Fresco, right? So like you didn't have to work to record that. That just came with it because you were working in Fresco and you were able to share that, which is awesome.
Which is dope.
Yeah.
So dope.
How cool.
So we got some things going on here.
Yeah.
We moved a little bit further. This is just a close-up of what I did work on yesterday. If you wasn't here, that X marks the spot for me to do complete black fills of everything.
Right.
That's in there. We got some other players to bring into the mix. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and what I did was I created groups out of each player. So that way I can play around with the composition without having to leave.
That's really helpful, being able to put it all, because like you've got multiple layers, right? You got several stuff going on different layers.
Yeah, and I got some good old fashioned layer groups going.
Yeah.
Buttery layer groups and
buttery.
Yeah, some buttery layer groups, and this is one that I did in the off season.
Oh wow! So you already finished this one. That's awesome! Holy crap!
So I have a full one of that done.
Yeah.
Got some blue lines still in there just to make me aware of how I want to push the shadows and everything. And of course, our X marks the spot for me to do my fills.
Where the treasure is.
Definitely. There's a few trimming, which we mainly did yesterday, that needs to go on with this. Just discovered I left a few layers open here. And to get into that layer group, what I'm going to do is just double tap. Oh, by the way, if you're here for the first time, we're not in a mirror dimension.
Nope.
My tool's on the right, my layer's on the left. And I can do all that by simply going up here and going to my app settings and choosing what side I want my toolbar to be on.
Because Fresco gives you these options. You can do these things in Fresco. You can set it up just the way you like.
Yeah, make it nice and cozy for you.
That's great.
The idea here is to work smarter, not harder.
Yep.
And if you saw what happened just now, that little zoom in action, that's just me double tapping on the Apple Pencil.
Okay. Tap.
That way I can really survey the real estate without having to pinch, zoom everything. This is my space modulator, ladies and gentlemen. I can move it around to wherever I feel comfortable using it. I always just keep it right here in the bottom.
For the people out there, that's called the touch shortcut, but we've renamed it. We're calling it the space modulator.
Yeah, after Marvin the Martian.
That's right.
That's my best friend, my companion, my co-pilot whenever I'm using this application.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call him Marvin. Like, he got a new name today. That's Marvin. So if I want to get into this layer group, and you can tell it's a layer group because it's kind of echoing over here on the side. If you look on the left-hand side, it's the blue one with the lines underneath. It's highlighted in blue. It's that one. If I double tap that, then it gives me full access to that layer group. And I want to go to that portion of it. At the top over here on the right-hand side, we have our pixel brushes.
Oh, heck yeah.
Man, look at those crosshatch. Oh, I might have to put some pixels in here.
Oh my goodness. Rob doing pixel art is just like blowing my mind. Because if y'all don't know about Rob, he's all about the vectors.
Vectors, yeah.
I mean, look at his shirt. Can you see his shirt? You'd have to lift it up a little bit.
Shout out to the Hoods. Yeah, shout out to the Hood twins, Jen and Amy.
Is that from them as well?
Yeah, I told them like if they give me an autographed copy of the book, I'll wear the shirt on stream. Second over here is our live brushes. And right here at the bottom is my favorite. Yep. And that's the vector brushes. We got our basic round and our basic taper, and those are the two main ones that I use just for line work. When it comes to glares and lights and all that other good tasty stuff, you may see me dibble and dabble and dive into like the chisel, the basic chisel, just so I can get everything square because I like square glares. But let's get busy. I'm gonna grab that round. There's a couple of things I want to trim up, so I'm gonna double tap my Apple Pencil just to get in there real good. Yeah. And I'm gonna double tap Marvin, and I'm gonna tap Marvin again just so I can access that outer rim. And basically, I'm just gonna it got a name. I'm basically just gonna come over here and just trim up a couple of things.
I'm gonna give a shout out to some of the people in the chat while you're doing some trimming. We've got Ferry, we've got Sean, we got Sam Peterson, we got Noor, we've got I already said Ferry. We've got Bev, we've got Anna, we've got Andreas, we've got Farah's back again, and Paloma as well. Looks like Cody Bear is doing some awesome work for us, being our mod in the chat. Thank you so much. And if you're watching on Behance, log into Behance and join us in the chat here. You got any questions for Rob? I will be keeping an eye on that chat and helping you out so that you can learn from the vector monster himself.
Definitely. As a matter of fact, let's break the Behance chat again.
Yeah, do it.
I need that lightning emoji all over that chat right now.
We need lightning.
I'm not drawing a stroke until I get a bunch of lightning.
You did already get some lightnings up there. I saw some. It was Sean.
More. I need
Sean
more.
Costle knew what was up.
I need more. So I'm gonna sip my tea while y'all put those lightning down in there.
Paco's got some lightnings for you. We got backup backstage.
For real. Shout out to Paco, man, making sure we sound and look good.
It looks like your sister's back and with your mom, Delmaya.
Hey. Yeah. Shout out to my mother and my sister.
Lovely to see you. Family's very important. Thank you for supporting Rob.
Yeah. All right. How we looking on the lightning?
I mean, it's like a storm. It's like a thunderstorm. It's back. I'm going back to my roots where I grew up, where there's thunderstorms right now because it's wild.
Yeah, I love it. All right. So you just saw a little glimpse of the vector trimming. Yeah. Let's just go through and let's trim a full illustration. So not only do I have one player complete, I did my homework. Yeah. Let's go ahead and hide this. And let's go ahead and get this boy right here. So we got plenty to do with him, you know. We're going to come in there and put some eyeballs on him. All kind of little fun stuff. But as you can tell, I overshot everything.
Yeah.
I just didn't care. I do care, but I know what the end result is going to be.
Well, what you're caring about is that stroke. You're caring about the confidence in that line, right?
Yeah. And I don't have to worry about the end point of that line anymore. Because I have all this. I have Marvin.
You got Marvin. You got that backup, and you got so many lightning bolts in the chat. I'm feeling electrocuted right now.
Let's get it. So I'm just wiping over what I don't want. And I think I called it throwing away the bones. Yeah. So if y'all want to see how that works, there's two ways. There's two ways I can do it. I can manually do it where I put my finger in there
Oh
and
yeah.
then slide
And
it out. So when that little circle disappears, when Marvin's inner child disappears, then it's right for the trimming.
got it.
Or I can sit there and I can triple tap it, 1, 2, 3, and
Ooh.
get it to lock. So that way I can just work one hand. I can do it single handedly.
Right. And then you throw those bones away.
Throw these bones away. Don't need them. And we're just gonna rip through this thing fast, just like we did yesterday.
Paloma says because she was so excited, because they were so excited with the lightning bolt, they copy and pasted it on the document they're doing for work right now.
Pro tip. I do that too. Whenever I'm just sitting in the chat being a troll.
Yeah, keep it. I agree, Noor. Keep it.
Yeah, I do it as well. Great minds, right?
That's right. I love his expression on this character, that like you really captured that like face.
Yeah, without having to do too much detail. And I mean, it's just line work.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing some shading today.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
With the lines or with color?
It's gonna be in the air. We're gonna play it by ear. We're gonna see what looks the best. I already have something in mind. I haven't tested it out, so I didn't do something behind the scenes. It's just a theory, and since this is Adobe Live, I wanted to test that theory out live.
I like that.
Out loud, live.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming in here and we just cleaning.
My buddy John in the chat says he bought the freelance book yesterday just because of you, Rob. Thank you for that.
Oh, man.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, I don't even get a check from that, but you know what I mean. They're good.
Oh, but you get a paycheck in love and community for doing the right thing.
And you know, they're good. They really giving you some valuable information in there.
It's good. It's important. I got to share that.
Yeah, it's not all about the dollars.
No, it is not.
Until you're broke.
And then it's all about the dollars.
It's all about the dollars, then. Like, let's go. So before this feature, which I've done some NFL stuff before, but before this feature, doing these crossbars, which are mainly used for the protection of the players.
Right.
It was a pain in the butt.
I bet.
I'm just gonna be honest about the whole thing. Like, it was not a great experience.
Oof.
But this allows me to basically seek it out. Now, once we get that brush that we were geeking about yesterday, then we can really just knock all this out. The outline brush.
Oh, yeah.
That can really just...
We got to get you set up with that. I feel like the problem
they're working on it. They're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're working on it. It's on the roadmap.
Okay.
See how I use that keyword?
Yes, I do. You sound very much like a product manager right now.
Yeah, it's on the roadmap. That's how they make me feel good. Like, Rob, it's on the roadmap. Patience, Rob. But I'm just throwing all the bones out. And this part can be a little tedious and boring.
Right.
But thanks for riding and rolling with me on this whole thing. Like, you could have been somewhere else right now. Yeah.
Yeah. We do appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us because it does mean a lot. And John is saying, if only love and community paid the bills, that would be nice.
Oh, gosh. You get your bills paid.
Yeah.
You get your bills paid.
There's some happy middle ground where you're finding, joy in what you do, and you're making money, and you're helping people out. That's the sweet spot, I think.
Definitely.
And when you find it, let me know.
This whole stream is just going to be a lot of me looking down.
That's okay.
Come back.
You keep looking down. It's fine. It's looking great. And if you've all got any questions, you pop them in the chat. I'm paying attention, doing my best. And if you're not logged in yet on Behance, why not? Log in, start an account, make some art today. Adobe Fresco here that Rob is drawing in is free. So you got no excuse other than
free.
maybe not having a device, but you probably have a device because you know what? We're on a lot of platforms. We got iPhone, we got iPad, we got Windows. So check it out and you could be drawing sweet art just like this. Draw right now along with us.
Yeah, something is not letting me. I guess that's supposed to stay, but it's like no.
I love watching you do this. Honestly, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I rely heavily on it now. Like,
is there anything like that in Illustrator?
Only thing I can think is the shape builder tool, because that's what this reminded me of. It's like, in the shape builder tool, if I hold down Alt or Option, I can make things disappear like that too. I can Thanos unwanted shapes.
Yep. That makes sense. Yeah, it's just so much more fluid, I feel like, in Fresco, because it's just fluid. That's all. And I guess it's because I'm an artist. I draw. So putting down plot points has never been a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, and you're going to see in one stage of this illustration, I'm going to really make the case for another feature I would love to see. And, that's the cool thing about Adobe. They're willing to listen to your feedback and take it in consideration. And who knows, you might spark or become a catalyst for a new feature that's going to be.
It's true.
And especially if you love using.
If you get all your friends to get tweeting at us and stuff, mob rule, let me tell you. Sometimes it's they're planning to do it. It's just not prioritized. And I mean, you can let them know like, hey, I need this tomorrow. You might not get it tomorrow, but right. But that urgency does matter. That does help us know, like, okay, this is something that they really need. So, I mean, it's hard because when you're on the inside and you see how complicated it actually is to get a feature done, it's a lot more than you think. You think, it's just easy. Just add this little checkbox. Oh, just do this. And I don't mean
this.
Yeah. And but I get it. You're a customer and you want what you want. So I understand that, but it's not quite as simple as you might imagine it to be. You got delayed lightning in the chat. You should know.
Hey.
It's another little.
I'll take it.
Poor George says he's not allowed to draw at work. And I'm sorry, but Rob will do the drawing for you. You just work and hang out, okay?
You're not allowed to draw at work? Man, is it a creative job?
Get a new job.
Yeah, is it? I mean, are you doing something like, is it like a creative field?
It's his username says third. Oh, I read it as 3D. It's George Carmona third. So sorry.
I'm familiar with the name. What up, George?
Yeah. Tell us why you can't draw at work.
Yeah. Share your pain.
And then get a new job.
We here for you.
It's easy, right?
Yeah, we're here for you. Swooshy swoosh swoosh.
The swoosh is nice.
Swooshy swoosh swoosh. Distorted swooshy swoosh swoosh. Don't want the swoosh to come after me.
Paloma wants to know what the story behind the lightning bolt is.
All right. So my name derived from Godzilla. And Godzilla, in its native language, means thunder lizard.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just something real quick. I used to use the word go a lot. I still do. But if I had something that could depict that word, it'll be that lightning bolt. Also, I do a lot of speed work, which doesn't take away from the quality of the work that the client is getting, but that lightning bolt kind of symbolizes that too.
So you're a Godzilla fan, I assume.
I'm a RobZilla fan.
Amy's back in the chat, and she's saying it's looking good. And she wants to know if there's a secret to drawing hands. Yep, see, vector head, you see that, Amy? Is there a secret to hands other than just practice?
You got to break them bad boys down.
Yep.
There's certain shapes that you can use to achieve to get hands. Generally, when I sketch hands as a place marker, I will use those shapes. Give me 1 second. I don't want to leave this area just yet because I'm old and I may forget where it was I was working. Come on, right here and here. All right, good. But oftentimes you can really just use basic shapes. If you're having difficulties drawing a specific thing, just look at it differently. And I know that's easy for me to say, but I mean, like, really look at it. Get a picture of a hand. If you're working digital, bring that picture of a hand into your digital environment. Lower the opacity of that hand. And what you want to do is you want to use a nice color to start to break that hand down into the basic shapes.
So like there's like a big square here.
Yeah, it's like a big square here. I often use a trapezoidal type shape. Now, what I'll do is I'm gonna hold this up while I do it. So let me jump over here real quick. But what I like to do is let's say this is the arm. Ugh, gross. Oh, gross. Let's say this is the arm, right? And this is the portion where the hand is going to come into play. What I like to do is I like to fan it out according to what these two outlines are going. So I like to fan it out like this. Then I'm gonna bring a stroke across, and that's where the knuckles hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The thumb branches off from over this side, so I'll go ahead and get the base of that thumb. While the fingers will fly off of this, and mainly what I'll do is I'll get both edges of those fingers.
Okay.
And place those fingers. Place those fingers where they need to go. And I'm doing a horrible job at it, but
no, you're not doing. I'm seeing it. I think Amy's seeing it too. She's seeing it.
And I mean, you can even break it down in even more segments, so it can become a fist. Come here, Marvin.
Marvin, we need Marvin.
Yeah, get these lines out the way real quick. So if this was a fist, then this line right here will represent the linear way that these things right here lined up, the inner knuckles.
Right.
The raisin part of your fingers.
The raisin.
And I mean, generally that's just how it would go if this was going to be a fist. That's the basic general shape that I would use. And of course, I know that there's 4 fingers, so I'll find that middle ground in between and divide that thing up. But very roughly, that's a hand. And if I got this in a very light color, then all I gotta do is just jump in. I can lower the opacity of this, jump onto another layer and refine it a little bit more. Right. Where I'm making that thumb actually do a little something different there.
That's a great tutorial. And you just like came out of that with nowhere. I just want to like give you props for that. You just gave us a hand-drawn tutorial. Was not scripted. We were not ready for that. Thank you.
Look at this tool.
Well,
close that lasso. Erase that. Get out of here. But yeah, that's mostly how it goes. Like just a basic breakdown of this hand.
Yeah, it's like everything can be broken down into those simple big shapes if you really look at them. But you gotta like, it's kind of weird. You have to not see with your eyes in a weird way. Well, I guess it's the other way around, to really see literally with your eyes instead of using your mind to like freak yourself out about shapes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
and they're gonna curve those knuckles.
Yeah. The sun is not a yellow circle in the sky, right? It actually looks totally different. But when we think about it, symbolically, we want to draw like a yellow circle. You got to get out of that thinking if you want to draw stuff realistically and actually see it in a different way.
Yeah, it's just mainly just breaking that whole thing down. And
Just
some
check.
folks probably freaking out like, yo, that's not a new layer. Just undo all that.
Poor George says the biggest problem is when folks interrupt him with work when he's trying to listen. And he missed the last part of the stream yesterday. I'm sorry to hear that, George. And that his day gig is kind of creative, but pulling out his iPad to draw would be just too much for work. So the good news is there's a replay, my dear. So you can watch the replay on YouTube if you like, but we are glad to have you live.
And here go the beauty of replay, folks. Pro tip, lightning bolts. Lightning bolts for pro tip. I'll give you a pro tip when I get some more lightning bolts.
I just put some in the chat for you.
Yeah. Let me know when we start getting some lightning again.
Okay.
And I'll give them a pro tip about how to use replays.
And then Paloma's saying if you want more learning, Skillshare has another session just about breaking stuff down into shapes. So check out Skillshare. They're great. They've got tons of great content. Okay, we got the lightning bolts. It's blowing up in here, Rob. Let's hear this perfect.
It's lit. Okay, so replays. If you're watching this now, and you can't draw, have a spare sheet of paper or either the note portion of your phone somewhere handy. Look at the timer at the bottom. Make notes of approximately specific times on there. So as you watch the replays, you know exactly what segments are going to be tasty for you without having to watch the whole entire thing again.
That's smart. I feel like you do this a lot.
No, I need to do it more.
Oh.
I need to do it more, but if I had to use replays, that's how I would do it.
Yeah, you're right, because there are wonderful long sections of us just being witty and amazing, but maybe that's not what you're looking for. Maybe you're just looking for the tips.
Another pro tip when you're doing your replays, if things are dragging a little too much for you, hit that playback speed, man. Make us talk a little bit quicker. If you want to get a good laugh, slow our speed down, and then we begin to talk like we're super slow. You can do all that stuff.
Right. Oh my gosh, there's so many lightning bolts. I'm serious.
That's the smell of Zilla right there. I think I got this. The crowd. I think I got Homeboy done. Now,
wow.
I think I got them done as far as line work is concerned. I got some extra lines in here too, just to sell a point. Now, this is number 94 for the Miami Dolphins. This is Wilkins.
Oh yeah.
He's super animated. Like, to give y'all an idea how this composition is going to look, and try not to look too hard at stuff, but I jumped into an ancient application that Adobe had out. I don't know if it's still in the App Store or not, but this is Photoshop Mix. But Photoshop is there in case Photoshop Mix is not there anymore, so you can bring Photoshop iPad in. But it was just for me to cut these things out and just to see how these forms interact with each other before I began drawing.
Right.
So I can have a better understanding of it.
You wanted it to be sort of this composition, but you didn't want to draw all that and then get too far and not be able to go back.
Yeah, so this is going to be pre-drawing stage.
Right.
So if I have some assets, if I want to share my vision with the client, I will compose something like this. And sometimes I'll do a side by side because it was either helmets off on the left or what I call left Twix and helmets off, which is the right Twix. And, I just basically text this over to them and say, hey, left or right Twix. And they get it, and I was waiting for feedback. So I was like, let me just go ahead and start this kicker now. I'm gonna go ahead and do helmets on because maybe they don't want to use the likeness of the player just like that.
Right.
But they actually text back and was like left Twix. And I was like, oof, I already got the drawing done. I showed them the blue lines and everything that I already had started for the kicker, number 7, which is Sanders. I already had that done. And I was like, I'm just gonna run with the helmets this time. it's going to be a little bit extra work on me, but let's get it.
Hey, that makes sense. But I can see. I almost feel like I understand because I love 94 in left Twix. What a face. That's awesome.
Yeah, like that's a face a mother could love right there.
Yes, that is some.
If you're a
energy.
Miami Dolphins fan, then you know that he's super animated, man. And
it was great.
He's the one that goes the extra mile and does a lot of charity work and events with the team too. So
that's important.
Yeah. We got the diversity thing happening. We got Parker, number 11, pointing at you. So it's making you a part of it.
That's right.
This is more or less a pyramid type of setup.
Yeah.
Which has a strong compositional setup in a pyramid. This is a little unorthodox, but once you see what I'm going to do tomorrow, you'll understand why they're set up in this way. And we didn't put number 2 in there,
Right. You decided to leave them out. But it's looking great. And I can totally see your vision.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
So I'm trying to swipe the bottom. It's not giving it to me. I'm back in the Fresco. So right now, excuse me. We got this line work. There's a couple more things we need to add to this one. In particular, there is let's compare and contrast. There's a dolphin logo there. There's one there. I didn't put the circles on there this time because I kind of visually know where it is. There's also a stripe there, and there's a stripe there.
Right.
So
you got secrets for those that you're about to show everybody.
Yeah, we shared them yesterday. Little quick tidbits. But what I'm gonna do is instead of working, I'm gonna work non-destruct. I'm going to add a layer on top of what I'm already using. And what I want to do is I want to mimic that line that's there.
Yep.
Ooh, wrong thing. Marvin was activated. That was almost messed up.
He's excited to be here.
Who's excited?
Marvin's excited to be here.
Oh yeah. Marvin don't get out much. I'm using one of their drawing aids right now.
That's great. Those are new as of like a couple of months ago.
Yeah. And I'm glad to see them.
Yeah.
These are friends of mine from the old neighborhood, which is Adobe Draw.
That's right.
So I don't have to focus really on getting that curved line in there. So I'll just use a drawing aid to do so. I got my curved line there. I don't want to have to do that 4 different times. No. Let's see how many times we have on this view. 3 different times. I don't want to have to do that 3 different times.
Nope.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate that layer. So I basically tap on my layer, my actions pop up, and I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'm going to move over here on the right-hand side, and I'm going to grab the move tool.
Nice.
Right? So it already has that that clone selected. And basically, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to drag it out a little bit. I want to leave a significant amount of space for someone to color in there.
Yep.
Right. So that's done.
That makes sense.
But I need the outer edge. There's another edge to that whole stripe, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat the same thing over again. I'm just going to duplicate that layer and grab another one. Now for this one, just for me to drive it home, I'm going to play around with the angle of it, which is this top circle up here. And I'm just going to move it out just a little bit.
Give it some perspective.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And boom, I have those there. Tap the layer again. Action menu comes up. I'm going to go to the bottom of that, and I'm just going to merge down. And I'm going to merge down again just to put it right onto the bass player.
Yep.
Can't have a band without the bass player.
Mm-mm.
If you notice what happened just now, I didn't triple tap. So if I just double tap on that on Marvin, what happens is I'll get the eraser.
Oh, okay. So you're just going to erase those edges.
Yeah, I don't have to bounce over to the menu and select the eraser every time.
That's nice. You can just stay in the vector tool with Marvin.
I use my left hand. Most of the time, I just tap it with the Apple Pencil. If I'm really into the drawing, I got some good jazz playing, then I will come in and just use my left hand all crazy. So that stripe is there.
Yep.
We got it on the helmet. It can be
Looks
curved
good.
a little. It can be curved a little bit more. Don't think
Yeah, you think so? Yeah, I
Mm.
guess I can see it.
It can be curved a little bit more, but it's no biggie. I mean, if I really just want to curve it a little bit more, why not? I always told my students when I taught anyway. Oops. Just draw the line again before you erase the line that you already have.
That's so smart. And you know what? Why do I not do that?
Yeah, like see what looks right first.
Before you be erasing stuff. Because
Yeah.
that's exactly what I would have done. You caught me. Like
I always tell them that. Like, whoa, don't touch that eraser yet. Draw the proper line in there first. Whoa, the other one is still there. So what?
Dropping knowledge.
Yeah, a little bit. I miss teaching.
Oh, Shauna's in the chat. Hi, Shauna.
Is that sauna parmesan?
That's right. Shauna Parmesan. If you're not logged into Behance, come on in and we'll chat with us. All you got to do is log in and you can join us in the chat here on the side, and it's super fun. And if you got questions for Rob, I will be glad to pass them along so you can both share in the learning that I just shared in, which is don't erase that line. Just
don't erase that line at all. Okay, so we got another stripe, and that's on the on the leg.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of comes up and around towards the hip. Let's just go ahead and add that in there. And what I'm going to do is basically turn Marvin off and come in with that.
Nice.
Right? But, Rob, you went through the arm. I mean, where have you been the last 30 minutes? I've been trimming strokes. So it's not a big deal or issue at all.
Right.
Let's repeat those steps and see how it work out for us. Duplicate layer, move tool. Great.
That looks good.
Look over at it. It's looking good. But I'm going to merge this down. I'm going to skip a step. I'm going to merge that down. Then I'm going to duplicate that. Why do this that many times when I can divide and do it less times? And, grab that move tool.
Yep.
Play with the angle a little bit because we're not really going to see the end of that stripe over here.
Totally. It just hides behind his arm.
And even if it was showing on the reference picture, that reference picture isn't my mother. My mother's in the chat. So that reference picture can't tell me exactly what it is that I need to do.
That's right. And that's something that I think most artists kind of need a bit of a pep talk about, which is if you've got a better idea or you think it's going to look better than the reference photo to change something, then you should change it. That's what being an artist is all about. Change it. Make it better. Right.
And if you're noticing, I'm coming in here. I only tap Marvin once.
Yeah.
But I'm cutting this. I'm pre-cutting this line because I already foresee it's going to be problematic with the trim riding around in this section right here. So I just went ahead and just pre-cut that. I'm going to pre-cut this as well. Right. Smart. And then I'll tap it again.
Yeah.
And I can get rid of it. This is the old way that I used to do it. I can get rid of the problem portions of it before it even becomes a problem. And you know what? I forgot to emerge. Merge.
Yep. You gotta
merge those together. Let me merge for you nerds.
We're not staying in our lane. We merging.
Yeah, we merge. You nerds. I'm not using my signal light either.
Be careful now.
I drive a lifted Jeep. Nobody's getting in my way.
That's nice. I love Jeeps. And I actually, because I was such a dinosaur girl growing up, I wanted a Jeep so bad. I wanted one of those like late 70s, early 80s Renegades.
Yeah. And I know the reference here.
Yeah.
You used to watch the Dukes?
Yeah, it's so good. I love them. Yeah. Hey, Terrence is back, wants to say hi.
What up, though?
Man, I do love Jeeps, but you know what? You know why I didn't decide to get a Jeep? Because I test drove one and it
It's
wasn't a
loud.
Renegade. No, it wasn't the loudness. I'm trying to remember the model. I don't remember off the top. Maybe it's a CJ7. I don't know. Listen, I almost rolled it on the test drive. And so I was like, you know
Real?
what? I'm not going to do this. Yeah. Decided not to get a Jeep.
All right, so we're going to add another layer. We're going to leave the base player as is. We're going to add another layer. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring in the shape of the Miami Dolphins.
Oh,
So,
cool.
Boom, we got that shape. I just popped it in there real quick.
Yep.
I'm double checking over here just to see if there's any angles or anything. So it is angled a little bit.
Right.
And like I said yesterday, I get to break the style guide a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to angle him the proper way before I even go and put him in position. I'm going to drag here from the corner. Or I can hold down Marvin, drag him this corner, and, scale it down from the center.
Right.
Let's see how big this thing is. Okay, great.
Raheem is asking about the drawing aids on the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
And is that not out yet? Are you in pre-release? Is that what that is?
Maybe I am in pre-release.
I think that's what it is.
Okay, it's not in the regular release yet?
I don't know. It's going to be there. I'm sorry, Raheem, that we might be using pre-release and it might not have moved there yet.
Sneak peek. So we got you something to get excited about.
Yeah.
What you can do, create an outline circle in another program like Adobe Illustrator, or if you like using Photoshop, create it in Photoshop. Screen capture it, bring it into Adobe Capture. And now instead of having to draw the circle, you can bring that in as a shape, just like I brought this Miami Dolphins logo in. But for some odd reason, if you notice, my options disappeared.
Oh, yeah, what happened?
So,
I'm sorry, Raheem, we might be in pre-release, so stay tuned, and it may be coming very soon.
Yeah, so I'm stuck right now, Renee.
Let me see. I'm looking at your screen.
Mm-hmm. And it's usually right here at the bottom, right above
Right. Can you zoom all? Oh, it's selected on the dolphin. That's what I see. The dolphin's highlighted, my dear. You're in shapes. You're not in drawing aids.
It's not giving me the shape options.
Can you try to exit out of your canvas and open it back up and see if that works?
Let's try that.
Yeah. And we're switching to the head view. Well, we can't let you see the secrets.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think they may have seen some secrets.
Now let's see if it works. Does it work?
No, it's not there. But you know what? They pushed an update right before the stream. So stuff like this happens.
It does.
In case it does, in case this happens to you, here's what you do.
Rob's got solutions. I've
got some solutions. Wow. I need to navigate around on my iPad real quick so I can launch the...
Okay. Well, let's go back to the two-head view. And then you can navigate around a little bit. Or maybe we could show the people the schedule and I could take a look at that.
Yeah, show them the schedule.
Yes. Yes. So let me talk to you about what's going on. So after Rob and me, we've got the Creative Encore, which is a pre-recorded session with Paul Tranny, but the chat's live. So you can actually chat and hang out with people while you're watching that, even though Paul's not live. And then after that, we've got editorial design with Kieran Lewis, which is super great. Another Creative Encore with Howard Pinsky and XD. And then later on today, Kyle Webster is going to do a draw along. And if you have not seen the draw alongs, you definitely want to check those out because he will teach you how to draw anything. And it's awesome. So even when Rob and I are done, there is a full day of programming on Adobe Live every day. So please hang out. Let's see if Rob's doing okay. How you doing, Rob? We're back. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to get in trouble.
No, you're not gonna get in trouble, my dear. Not you.
Yeah, I didn't want to get in trouble. Like,
It gave us the perfect time to like let all the good people know about everything else that's awesome on Adobe Live. So it was perfect, actually. It's like you
okay,
knew.
so
It's like
what we were looking for, technically, is right here at the bottom,
yeah,
and somehow it disappeared. So
right.
if any of my dear friends who work on this team is watching, yo, can y'all fix
I
that?
hope they are, and if they're not, I'm gonna take that message to them.
Fix that. And basically, I'm just going to do a fill because this is for coloring purposes.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily have to color this.
Mm-hmm.
There's one here on the sleeve as well. So let's go look at the reference picture real quick. It's angled up counterclockwise a little bit more than the one that we previously did.
Right. That's the way his head is.
Yeah, I'm just going to drag it into place. I'm going to angle it up correctly. I'm going to hold Marvin down and I'm going to drag from the center. And let's make sure I'm putting this into the proper place. So it's right below the swoosh and a little bit above the wrinkles, and it's a little bit larger. Nope, right there. And let's angle it just a little bit more. And we're just going to fill that in.
Looks good.
The cool thing is we don't see Dolphins right above his name because it's actually folded.
Oh, it's like squished in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well not bother.
Yeah, for coloring purposes and not to be disrespectful, I'm going to omit the Shula patch.
Mm-hmm.
Because
makes sense.
You wouldn't be able to get anything in there but a coloring pencil. So if kids are using crayons, it's going to be hard to color that portion in. So boom, we got him. Yeah. Right? Now, what's our next steps, right?
I don't know.
The next steps, what I'm going to do is I want this to be below my bass player, right? So all I do is just grab it, drag it. But then I want to create a layer group. And the quickest way to do that is to drag right on top of the other thing, right?
Yep.
Or if I don't want to do it that way, I can press here, get my actions. I can ungroup those layers. I can double tap Marvin so that the center circle is lit. While I have one of the two layers that I want to put in a group selected, I just simply tap another one.
Oh, and nice.
What happens is right above the top, it changes and it lets me know how many layers that I'm going to have in this upcoming group. And
Marvin's got your back no matter what you're doing.
I told you, the best co-pilot ever, man. Like he even, we stopped at McDonald's, he puts the straw in my drink for me.
What a darling.
You know? So all I got to do to group these layers now is just to hit that folder that's underneath the CBS eyeball. Boom, and they're grouped. So there's two ways to go about it. The quickest way is just to grab the layer and drag it. But if you're dealing with multiple layers and you don't want to repeat that step over and over and over again, right. Double tap Marvin, or what's Marvin's real name?
The touch shortcut.
The touch shortcut.
Yes.
And then select what you want to put in groups. And they don't have to be right under each other. You can skip around.
That's helpful too if you've got hella layers. Like that's super helpful.
Ooh, yeah. So each player has his own layer group now. I would name all that stuff out now, but names, it doesn't really work here in this UI anyway. So
yeah, it's not quite ready for names yet.
It's not ready yet. What I am going to do is I'm going to bring to light another feature that should be here, right? So I pay very close attention to make sure that all of my areas on this outline is closed.
Yeah.
So in order for me to move these figures around each other, I'm going to need to give them a color just as a base. So if I turn on all these different layers.
Yeah.
Oops, I think I did that wrong. if I turn on these different layers, what you will begin to see is, since there's no color being contained within them,
They
it
just
just
overlap.
becomes a mess.
Spaghetti.
Yeah,
Vector spaghetti.
vector spaghetti. Um, what I need to do is I need to fill his form in with white. What I would like to do is have a magic wand that I can simply go to this outline layer, click the outside.
And it knows.
It knows not to go on the inside of it because it's
Yep.
an enclosed area. And then all I have to do is go to that menu and invert so that only the inside is selected instead of the outside.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then use my paint bucket, fill it in with the desired color that I want to hold it. I mean, to be in the inside, which I will possibly just use the background white. Right.
And it's just one click that way. And you can't select layer contents and do that yet, huh?
Ooh, you see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going now?
Yeah.
So instead, what I have to do is this. And let's get some lightning bolts going because I'm gonna need some energy.
Okay, we're gonna need some lightning bolts for this, my friends.
Instead, I have to do this right here.
Oh my gosh, they already were putting it in there. They're saying RobZilla spaghetti, and they got lightning bolts before you asked for it.
Hey, we need to market that spaghetti.
For real, vector spaghetti.
Ooh, while I'm here, let's maximize this platform that we're on.
Okay,
you know what would make a dope show?
What?
On Adobe Live?
What? Cooking? Vector spaghetti?
Well, that would be cool too. That would actually be cool if there's a way to really do it. But since I'm sports related,
yeah.
What if there were like coaching sessions? I see streamers doing it with games.
Oh, that's a good idea for Adobe Live, like being able to actually do like and even if we did,
with me.
Yeah. And we could like bring in people who want coaching, right? Like, yes. And have it would be like it would be like you, and then I'd be the one asking for the coaching, like we'd be talking about art and showing my art.
That's the pilot. We'll show you art. We'll see what needs work. Yeah. We'll have you work on something alongside with me. We'll use a very special thing that we're going to be using tomorrow in order to achieve that.
Send it back and forth, maybe.
Yeah. Where's Gus?
I know, right? We're powers that be. I hope you're listening.
Everybody at Gus right now and say coaching sessions. At Gus and put coaching sessions.
Well, I think if you're signing up to do it, I think that's what we need, right? We need a coach like you, somebody that we can call on all the time.
It can be me. It can be. I'm putting Kyle out there.
Oh, Kyle's great.
I'm putting Mr. Peterson on blast.
Yep.
I'm putting Allison Lee on blast. I'm putting Shauna Parmigiana.
Alice Lee's show is a little bit like that, doodle therapy. It's a little bit less about the art, but it's, it's about feeling good about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry. making a lot of noise over here. Sorry. I just dropped some stuff. Don't worry. It's fine.
Coaching sessions. Let's get it.
Yeah. It's a great idea. I love it. Chat's loving it too. Oh, and then Fairy is suggesting that we do a hot wings challenge, making artwork while eating hot wings, like hot ones.
Oh gosh, that would be dope too.
I got another
idea I can't say on stream. That would be so amazing.
Well, maybe we'll have to talk about it offline. I got the hot ones, hot sauces, and let me tell you, they aren't serious.
I can't do it. It will
really? I can.
It will tear my stomach up if it's too hot.
I love it. I'm kind of not. I can't hang like every day, but I like it.
So, all the folks in the chat, do you see the pain now of this process?
Y'all see what Rob's doing? You see him slowly going around the outside and
the perimeter of the outside, when all I really just have to do is just select the background, invert, and do my thing.
Yeah, I hear you. And I know I can't make promises because you know how this world is, but I know that the team's working on stuff for exactly this.
And if I'm wrong and there's a better way of doing this, let me know.
Chat, if you can think of a better way than what Rob's doing right here. But you know what? It's kind of soothing because it's given us a break. It's given us a chance to just kind of talk, even though it's a bummer that it's a lot of manual work. So I'm a little grateful for it myself.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah.
as of late, what I've been doing is just like I'm on HBO Max, and I got the classic Wonder Woman episodes playing while I'm doing this.
Yeah. Even
And
Bajero in the chat is like, I'm glad to see he's using this method because I wasn't sure if I was doing it wrong and there was a faster way.
yeah,
Whew.
and I mean, in the past, what I would do is I would actually just take a color,
Yeah.
and
Just color it in.
I would go around the perimeter of this with a color, you
Totally.
know, and but the biggest issue with that, if that gap isn't closed,
Yeah.
then it's gonna fill up the entire layer.
Right. And this way it's close.
I got another workaround that I usually do.
Yeah.
What I usually do is I will duplicate my line work layer
Mm.
and then just bucket tool in the inside of my line work layer. But
Right, I got you.
that becomes
Yeah, but
problematic too.
yeah, because the edges maybe don't match up.
And it makes your line work appear thicker. So if I'm looking at this overall thing and my line work doesn't have the quite enough weight that I need to do, one
Yeah.
workaround to do is just duplicate that line work layer or your ink layer,
Right.
and it'll thicken up a little bit. I mean, just a fraction, but it'll thicken up significantly for you, and you'll be like,
Yep.
oh, okay, now this is how it looks if it's beefier.
Yep. So Andrew's got a question for you. He wants
Let's
to know
go.
what kind of music vibes do you jam out to when you're working?
I mainly listen to jazz, hard bop, anything that deals with Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers
Nice.
is my groove. Some old school hip hop. If I can find an instrumental album, then it's even better. The funny thing about hip hop is once you hear instrumental album, one instrumental album that I'm trying to hunt down is Pete Rock and CL Smooth, The Main Ingredient. I'm hunting for that instrumental album of that. I even asked Pete Rock's brother because I know his brother Grap, and Grap was like, when I find one, let him know because he want to buy one too.
What about like early techno? Does early tech, like we're talking like Detroit early, like I would feel like that stuff maybe has the same sort of, feeling as an
Yeah,
instrumental hip hop.
or or your earlier house music. But
Yeah.
you know what's cool in the COVID era
What's
that
that?
we're living in now is the fact that DJs are streaming all over the place.
Yeah, that's been amazing.
So sometimes it's like some of my favorite DJs is DJ Scratch or Natasha Diggs or DJ Jazzy Jeff, Rich
Yep.
Medina, folks like that, and they play you a whole arrangement, so the vibe is all over the place. It's not just one set thing.
Right. It's interesting because different teachers have their own sort of feel like that. Like some of them want to tell a story over 2 hours, right? So they like slowly build. And that's, I don't know, I feel like that's trance that mostly does that. But then there's other ones that take you different places all in the same set. It's great.
Yeah, not too.
One of my favorite old school DJs is DJ Icy. He does breaks out of Florida. And God bless him. And I mean this with all love. He's like 60 years old and I love it. He's up there just laying it down.
They still get busy.
Yeah,
like,
this is
Jazzy Jeff just turned 50.
Right. Icy, like this is his life. Like you can't make him stop.
Yeah, Questlove from the Roots, he DJs too on YouTube, and he just turned 50.
Same. I love that. I love that about them, It's, I don't know, it just comes from a place that's pure and beautiful. Just like you drawing these kick-ass football players. It comes from this pure, beautiful place. Like this is what you do.
Yeah, and I mean, what I did was I developed a style or a voice that I'm able to execute no matter how I'm feeling. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm not feeling well, I can still get my work done.
Yep.
Because the style is comfortable enough for me just to move around, with the exception of this right here. This is why I have this glove on. So I have a copper infused glove on. Just so I'm getting the proper circulation in my hands as I work.
Yep. It's important. Yeah, take care of your bodies out there, people. I actually have pretty bad RSI that I battle all the time. I started doing yoga and bar, and it really helps. And even if my arms and like hurting from like doing mouse work, when I'm lifting weights, it actually starts to feel better.
Yeah, and I mean, take your breaks. Set a timer. Take your breaks.
Be good to your body. You're gonna need it.
I'll take a break. I'll set a milestone or a goal, or what I like to call tiny victory.
Yeah.
And after I achieve my little tiny victory, I'll go for a walk in my neighborhood and catch Pokemon.
Oh, that's wonderful. You have to set yourself up for that stuff. You know, the world won't set it up for you.
All right, y'all. I went around this whole player.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
You did it.
Now,
Woo!
I need just to get the holes done. So
and you know,
I'm gonna double tap Marvin.
Okay.
So now as I work in the upper right-hand corner, Fresco is going to tell me what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah, subtract from selection. And then Marvin's helping you out again.
Yeah, Copilot.
Bajero in the chat was mentioning how the selection stays active. And you know, this is actually Fresco that we're in, Bajero. It's not Photoshop on the iPad, although Photoshop on the iPad looks super similar. But this is Fresco, which is just for drawing. And that's why you notice that when you pick up that Apple Pencil, it still lets you like think about your selection.
Yeah. And for me, I need that reminder.
It's super nice. I love it. I also love how you can tap or you can draw at the same time. You were showing that off yesterday. And
yeah, that's one of my time savers.
Ooh, so good.
Because, you know, oftentimes going back over these lines, it's hard to draw the same line twice.
Yeah, it is.
And that's why I showed y'all that little duplicate the layer method of doing striping or shoelaces or anything that involves two parallel sides.
That's awesome.
And see, for example, I just went off the line a little bit.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to. So what I'm gonna have to do is double click him again, correct it, double click just to activate it back again.
And it's just safe like that. Your selection's still all good.
Yes.
Oh, so nice. Because look at all that detail in that helmet. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's why the folks at the Dolphins was like, yo, okay, best of luck. You drawing these helmets. You have to draw it.
Bear Joe, excuse me. I'm sorry that I pronounced your name wrong. Thank you for correcting me. And everybody in the chat, if I do that, feel free to tell me how wrong I am. You're always welcome. I do really well with direction.
Man, well, I mean, I taught for 20 years. I will mess your name up.
It happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, mouth's messed up. Some people actually think my last name is Zilla.
Well, you use it so often.
I was joking with my wife the other day. I was like, yo, I'm going to make my middle name Zilla.
You should. You should do it.
That way, if somebody come at me and was like, you can't use RobZilla because I'm using it. Oh, it's my name.
It's my name. Anthony Jackson is asking when these will be available for coloring. Do you know that? When?
I'm delivering these tomorrow after the stream.
Cool.
I'm also going to put a finalized version in the Behance post that I'm going to do with this for you to download.
Awesome.
And, you know, spread that love, color it.
Yep.
Take a picture or scan of it. You can color it in Fresco. You know, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, how you can do that. So join us tomorrow as I get into the details of that. But color it in, do your thing, send it back out.
That's great. So if Anthony comes back tomorrow, he's going to be able to get that. So at the end of the stream tomorrow, Anthony, which is probably right about noon-ish, it should be there. And then I'm going to have to interrupt you because it looks like Tom LaRock, your favorite DJ, is in the chat today. So I thought I'd let you know.
My favorite DJ?
Tom LaRock is what.
Tom LaRock. He said he was my favorite DJ?
That's what he says. I'm only reporting the facts.
Okay, Tom. Everybody shout Tom out with a lightning bolt. At Tom and put a lightning bolt there.
Awesome.
Let's go. Let's get Tom. All right. So everything is selected.
Yep. And that was a lot, and you did it, and it's awesome.
I'm gonna get super religious on y'all right now and just say hallelujah. All of that is done.
Lord.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up a new layer and I'm just gonna drop it in there. And what I'm gonna do, just to make sure everything's on the up and up, I'm gonna pick that bright behind yellow.
Smart.
And I'm gonna fill it in with that yellow.
Then we can see.
it. So it's gonna ask me how would I like to fill it, And we all know what the answer is.
Vector.
So let's go.
Oh, we got a lot of lightning bolts. I just want to let you know.
DJ Tom is enjoying that love.
I hope so.
And what this lets me know is, okay, Rob, did you go outside the lines? Because the rules of coloring is you can't go outside the lines. And I mean, I used to break it all the time. But one of my goals in 2020, as great of a year it was to tighten up my line work, and I achieved it. I used to have some very loose line work. So since I see there's no leaks and no crossing over, and I mean, for some applications, you want to kind of like go over the lines. I would take this right here and I would hit the transform tool, and you see this joystick that's there?
Yeah.
That's nudge. So
cool.
Nudge the color over a little bit just to knock it off a little bit.
And it gets that like printed look almost.
A printed offset look. So if that's what you're going for, that's how to do it. And that's my pro tip for using all those lightning bolts. I hit cancel and everything. Cool. Everything just goes back to where it's supposed to be. I'm going to sample the background color because I'm not sure if that's pure white or paper white. And I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to simply, boom, hit it up. So that player's done as far as separation. How much time are we working with?
We got almost about an hour. So we're about 50 minutes.
We're doing good.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So since he's on top, what you're going to notice is when I bring this person in, he completely covers that person up.
Yeah. No more vector spaghetti.
Yes. None of that intermingling and shenanigans from out of these players. Sadly, I'm gonna have to do that for this player.
Oh, yep. Here we go. All over again.
Here we go. And I knew it coming into it.
Yeah. Tom saying thank you for the love. So just want to shout that out. Thank you so much for that love, Rob. He says, y'all are the best.
So Tom, do you stream any DJing? If so, it'd be kind of cool for folks to know where to find you.
That's right. That would be cool. I really like the shadows on his face. I can kind of imagine what you were trying to go for there, and it's really cool.
Wait till we get started.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh man, I'm excited to show y'all how I'm going to do these shadows. And I only plan to do one layer of shadows. So, I can build more form and stuff by doing multiple layers of shadow.
Right.
And I usually work transparently. So I would take the same black that I did the outline work with. I would create a new layer. I would drop the opacity of that layer down to 40, 30-ish. And then I would use that translucent gray for my shadow.
That's really smart.
That way, all I have to do is just work on finding my my flats to go underneath that translucent layer instead of having to really go back in and remix different colors for shadowing and all that other stuff.
That's a pro tip out of nowhere where you can just use the same color, just black, but you change the layer opacity and you got like a 20%, you got like a 40%. You can do different shading that way. You
can even edit it. Like if it's too dark or not dark enough for you, just change the overall layer opacity. Yeah. Now, some people might ask, well, why don't I just make the stroke translucent? Because you're going to get the Crayola effect, the Crayola marker effect. So when these colors start to overlap, they're going to get darker. And
you're gonna see it.
If that's your groove, which isn't a bad groove, go for it. Like that can be a new look for vectors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how that's going to really work if you were getting prints done. Like I recently had to do a project that involved a limited number of colors, and the method we're going to use today for shadowing is how I solved that.
Cool. That's really exciting.
Since I was a translucent person.
Yeah. Bear Joe was asking about the reference on the outside. And yeah, you know, Rob used the reference, but we don't let the reference tell us what to do because the reference is not our mama. So we do what looks best.
Yes. And if you notice, I put it on the outside of the artboard, and I only go to them when I need to go to them.
Yeah.
I try to get enough information in my line work where I don't have to rely heavily on it. If I have to do some fine tuning, then you'll see me bounce back and forth between the outside and the inside.
Totally. I'm kind of opposite where like, I try to respect I'm not talking about reference, but when I do a sketch, I tend to love the sketch. But then as I render it up, even if I do line art, like the sketch dies, you know, it gets all stiff and like sad. And so I'll go back to my sketch constantly. And sometimes I'll put my sketch up in the corner so I can reference it and keep whatever it is, that thing that makes it look alive.
So it's like a banana sketch.
Yeah.
The longer it sits there, it just starts to turn brown and looks mushy in spots.
It's all grody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta draw something, Rob. I haven't drawn all year. I can't believe it.
Wish I could say, well, no, I don't wish I could say the same.
No, because this is the deal, man.
I've been busy.
That's good. I'm glad for you.
Yeah, it's been busy. So when they approached me with this, I was like, oh, it's the proper time because it's in between projects.
Nice.
But even if it wasn't in between projects, I would still do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if y'all are just tuning in, this is day 2 of me and RobZilla. We're doing these awesome Miami Dolphins pieces of art in Adobe Fresco. Adobe Fresco is brand new. Came out like, I guess it's not brand new. Oh my Lord. Adobe Fresco came out about 2 years ago.
Gemini.
Yeah, it used to be called Project Gemini. And the idea is that you got vector and you got pixel brushes all in one canvas. So you can draw and paint in a tool made just for drawing and painting. So it kind of looks like Photoshop on the iPad, and it kind of looks like other apps you might have used. But it's like we took the drawing and painting part out of Photoshop and out of Illustrator and stuffed it in its own app. Just for you.
Just for you.
Mm-hmm.
And as of late, the vector side of this application has been growing rapidly, just like the twins on WandaVision.
Yeah.
Wiccan and Speed.
You know her. You know my friend Hep. She made me watch WandaVision up until episode 4. She's like, you gotta watch until.
Oh yeah, and stack them up. If you can avoid spoilers, stack them up.
Okay.
That way you won't be, especially like if you're accustomed to how Netflix does do things, stack them up so that way you have them already just to binge it, because you're going to end up watching again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a rewatch.
I'm
gonna do a rewatch of some stuff, but I'm an Easter egg hunter, and I like to hide Easter eggs in some of my illustrations too. And now that I think of it, I didn't hide one in this one. So I'm gonna go back in and show y'all where the Easter egg is.
Please,
that I'm gonna hide in here.
That's fun. I like that a lot. I don't do that at all, but I should.
I started doing it in college, man. I had a butthead, professor, man.
We've all had those.
Yeah, and he wanted me to do something that, I didn't want to do. Or I wouldn't make the grade that I wanted to make. And I just went ahead and created it in the way that he wanted me to, but I made sure I hid a middle finger in that drawing. And
Sometimes that helps.
Yeah, after the critique, I showed all the classmates where it was.
Oh, I bet they loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh no, people are worried about spoilers, so we do have to be careful about how much we be talking about WandaVision.
Oh no, I didn't spoil anything.
No, we didn't. It's true. You know, for me, I've been waiting for. I love Adventure Time. That was one of my favorite shows of all time.
I started rewatching.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And I know that the new ones have come out. They're on like HBO Max, and I haven't watched them yet. And part of it is because I don't want to get stuck. Like I want it all at once. So I got more to watch. So
wait, new ones are out now?
Yeah. So after the 10th season that was on Cartoon Network, HBO Max, I think, picked it up, and it's called, I think, Distant Lands. And the first one focuses on just BMO. And then the second one is Marceline and Bubblegum. So
rest in peace to Tree Trunks.
Oh, I love Tree Trunks.
Yeah, the voice actress.
Did she pass away? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, we lost her earlier this year.
She was so cool.
That voice is so good.
So good. I love Tree Trunks.
That voice is so good.
Actually, my computer that runs the TV is named Tree Trunks.
Man.
Yeah, she was great. I'm gonna be a crazy old lady like that.
She could,
amazing.
Like, I would love that voice as my Siri.
Yeah. Oh God, that would be great.
So dope. That voice, and I'm not saying the curse word, Mom, if you're still in the chat. I'm actually going to say SCHITT.
Oh yeah.
If you watch Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek, it's a show.
Yeah.
SCH.
Moira. Her voice will be perfect as Siri.
Yep.
The way she pronounced words and everything, I would love that as my Siri.
You know who else I love is Pamela Adlon. She does the voice of Bobby Hill, and she also does a couple characters in Adventure Time. And she's just got a great voice. I love it. It's just
got a rasp to it.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't know it was a woman who did Bobby Hill, but it's great.
Yeah, even Jarvis or Vision will make a great one. All right, so
you did it.
Not too many edges on this one. Of course, we're going to come in here and we're going to double check with the yellow.
Yep.
Just to make sure. And I'll just go around. I'll walk around the yard, make sure everything's good.
Yeah.
Just off of first sight type, looking at the whole composition just to make sure I don't have any spills.
Right.
And once I have that approval, I mean, I can resample the background if I want to, or I can simply just go to my colors and I can tap. Well, let's get that out the way. No, let's not do that. Let's tap on the color I want and basically paint bucket that in. So now with that done, and I did that within the layer group, so I don't have to add anything else to the group. With that done, if I put day one illustration on there,
no more vector spaghetti.
It blocks it out. But guess what we have to do now, boys and girls?
We got to do number one.
We got to do day one illustration before we move the shading.
But we got time, so we're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah, and if y'all are in the chat, you got any questions for Rob, send them my way because I am watching. We do have a couple people having just letting out the spoilers, like Darth Vader being Luke's father.
Oh gosh, really? Oh, come on, man, for real?
There's some spoilers in the chat. Watch out.
Man. They think they slick too. They actually spoiling some other stuff too.
Right.
You think you slick.
It's pretty funny. Oh,
just
and
like
Paloma
Doctor Who.
Oh, I don't know Doctor Who. You can't spoil Doctor Who for me because I don't know nothing.
Great, I won't say nothing.
Paloma's saying that Cree Summers is who they'd want as their Siri.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
There's not that many. There's not that many voice actors when it comes to these cartoons. So
yeah.
they got like a little tight knit group
They do.
A guild, so to speak.
Yeah. Tom Kenny does so many voices. He's the Ice King.
Oh my gosh, that would be great as a series.
That's one thing I do love about Adventure Time is that you'll see a little character and they will have the opposite voice you expect coming out of them. And that makes it enjoyable, right? Like it just makes it so great.
It makes it enjoyable because it's done right. Now,
yeah.
The Incredibles, right?
Yep.
I can't watch The Incredibles.
Why?
For so long, The Incredibles will be playing for my kids in the back seat.
Oh,
right. So I would always see the visuals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But once I heard the voice for the mother, that voice does not fit for me.
Interesting. Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Just doesn't. It's just like a mismatch to me.
And yeah. That's hard when that happens because I've definitely had the same situation. Or if you watch like Japanese anime and you watch dubbed versus subbed and you hear the voice and you're like, oh.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah. It's hard. I've actually been watching Adventure Time in Japanese. I got some of the DVDs because I'm learning Japanese and I thought it would be easy because I've seen like all the episodes a million times. So I know what's going on. But then I'm, listening to them talk in Japanese and they did a good job. All the characters have pretty good, like Finn sounds like Finn and they did a good job. They matched them.
That's dope. That's dope. I can't watch the Boondocks because of the voices. Like for Huey, I don't like the voice for Huey.
Yeah.
So I can't watch that.
That's hard.
Yeah, I can't do it.
They got to pick the right voices. So George is asking that they add the long hold to fill a space from draw. And I would like to agree with you, George. We need that. And the team's working on some improvements, not only for that, but for the fill tool in general. So
yes.
We hear you.
The only problem, George, and I could show it to you later, is that if Adobe Fresco was a parking lot, an employee parking lot, someone else has that space for that long hole. And the thing that has that space for that long hole is the eyedropper tool in Fresco.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I'm not getting on my soapbox because that is a big climb.
But it's awesome to hear. And I'm going to bring that feedback to the team along with some of the other juicy tidbits we got from Rob. So
also problematic for that long hole being used. And I didn't really show it on this stream.
Yeah.
I can't show it now. After I finish outlining this, please remind me to show the other reason why long hole is not going to really work too much.
I surely will. I'll remind you. You keep doing what you're doing and we'll mention it before we sign off.
Yeah, we old folks need reminders sometimes.
Lord knows I do. Oh my goodness.
Morgan Freeman would make a great Siri voice.
Yeah.
The time is now 12 o'clock.
Yeah. Idris Elba.
Oh, for real?
That'd be cool. Just saying. I think
so.
Yeah,
well, his English or his native? His native
all
speaking
of them.
Voice.
It'd be nice to have all of them, Like,
yeah, that'd be dope.
We just watched Pacific Rim, which is like the best movie in the entire world. Thank you very much. And he's so great in that movie.
I was watching Ragnarok over the weekend, so.
Nice. Got a couple new people in the chat. Hi there, Cammie. Thank you for joining us. You got questions? Put them in here and I'll ask Rob.
What up? What up? So usually I will do this on a totally separate day unless my deadline doesn't give me the wiggle room to do it. But this is just this is an ounce of prevention.
Right. Smart.
Yeah, you're going to see how I use this on day 3.
Okay, cool.
But it seems like a lot. Or I'll go for a walk real quick and then come back and start this part.
Give yourself that little, what did you call it? That little break, that little victory.
Yeah, tiny victory. Like, okay, let's get these outlines done. That's a victory. Let's
I always
map
thought
out.
about it with like MMOs, you know, like EverQuest and gosh, what was the World of Warcraft? They like gamify things for you and then it gets you excited. And I feel like if you can do that in your real life, you can get ahead for real.
That's a trend in the educational field, or it was.
Really?
Gamification for your classrooms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it really seemed to work for most folks. I tried a little bit of it.
I do too.
And I'm just going to do something weird right here.
Ooh, but that's gonna look cool.
Yeah, once the color is added in.
Yeah,
Even though it's going to be hidden, but for the main time.
still it'll look cool.
And I'm not wishing bad on this player to break his ankle or anything like that, but I'm not trying to put a Wheaties box curse or a Madden cover curse on this player. But
does that happen? I don't know about these curses. That sounds powerful.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever eaten Wheaties.
I can't remember doing it either. If I did, I put a pile of sugar in it because I was young.
Hell yeah. They're chatting about languages in the chat, saying Duolingo is awesome. Wani Kani has kanji and vocab for Japanese. It's fun. I definitely encourage people to learn another language if you can, because it's wild. It's wild thinking in a different language. It's wild trying to communicate. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, if you ever go abroad, it's bugged out how all these folks from different countries know multiple languages. And here go me from America, and I'm barely mastering the main language. It's the primary language here, and
yeah,
a lot of folks who are mean to other folks always talk about speak American. Like, no, you don't need to speak American. Keep doing what you're doing, because your level's above this person. They're just mad they don't understand what you're saying.
Yep. Well, it's wild to be an adult and then to learn to read again. Like, my reading in Japanese is so slow. Like, I really just have to carefully just look at the words and think about it and sound it out. And it's very humbling, because then I think about all these people living here with English as a second language. That's exactly what they're going through.
Yeah, but you know what? They rip right through it.
They are, yeah.
Like, this English must be super easy to learn. I don't understand why I have to do 12 years of grade school taking it, but
Oh man, but still, it's just amazing to learn another language. So if you're out there and you're thinking about it, you should do it.
Yeah, it kind of makes you feel like you're on a short bus when you're around someone who knows multiple languages and stuff. Like, if you ever try having lunch with Rufus.
Oh my gosh, Rufus. If y'all don't know, Rufus is the Adobe Live director. He's like the head of all these, the evangelists, excuse me. And he does Adobe Live over in Europe. He actually is the main host and main sort of organizer. And he knows 20 languages. It's not 20, but it's a lot.
It seemed like it.
It's a lot. And he's a wonderful human on top of that. So learn languages. So cool. Maybe you'll be as sweet as Rufus.
Shout out to Rufus.
Yeah, it's a good dude.
Hey, and I don't think there's any holes here to fill in.
Did you do it that quick, man?
Yeah, we got through it.
That's amazing. You still got half an hour left, dude.
Sometimes it's a conversation. So let's go ahead and take that yellow.
Yeah.
Keep this moving and drop it in there. Right. Survey the land. Let's make sure we don't have any spills.
Looks kind of good to me.
This is why I was running so fast in the first episode here, the first day of streams. It's because I know once I get to this part, it's just going to be like,
we made it through though.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and change that to white. We're just going to deselect. If I ever need to get my selection back again, I simply go to the lasso tool and I tap, and it'll have down here at the bottom, load your last selection if I ever needed it.
Nice.
But let's say if I accidentally do this. Well, let's say if I deselect and I go, oops,
Yep.
then that selection's gone. Another reason why we need that magic wand.
I hear you.
And it needs to be spelled Magic J.
Magic J?
J-U-A-N.
J-U.
Magic wand. Wand magic.
I will pass along this very important message.
All right. So since we kicked it off with this kicker, right? Let's jump out because I have a layer group inside of a layer group, and you can do that. I'm going to ungroup those layers simply because I need to move my sketch. Oh no! Well, I didn't even have to do that. I'm gonna hide that white that I just did.
Okay.
And I saw that it took all my all the logos and stuff out because it was above it. So I quickly just moved it down and put it where it needed to belong. But I'm going to turn my sketch layer back on because my sketch layer has some information on here for me. Right?
Yeah, I see that.
It shows me where exactly I want to have these regions shaded. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on my shape. I'm going to click it twice. Right below shape is the name of the library that I have there. I'm going to jump out of that. I'm going to jump into the H's and I'm going to jump down to what I consider halftones.
Nice.
I have some static there, but I have something that's bigger than that too. So I'm gonna jump out of halftones and I'm gonna go to my Adobe Max session, wherever you are. And tucked in here, you see all these beautiful vector images.
I do. I remember getting them for you.
Yeah, it was fun.
It
like
was.
A little scavenger hunt.
It was
Easter
awesome.
eggs, right?
So real quick, RobZilla did a Adobe Max class and we crowdsourced all these shapes for him so he could make something awesome no matter what. So it's like working with what you got where you're at.
No matter where you are.
That's right.
I'm going to have to reset that box. So I hit it again. No, I'm going to hit something different. Then I'm going to hit it again. Let's see if it's reset this box for me. Oh, you're not going to do it. Whatever. Just drag this angle, make sure I get it at 0. Très bien. And I'm going to go ahead and scale from center, which is not quite straight for me yet. But if you notice, this whole file just has these nice,
like little
dots.
crispies.
Yeah, nice little dots that's going on here. And I'm going to shrink this in so I can get the most out of my dots.
We all want to get the most out of our dots.
Yeah, got to get the most out of your dots. And I think that looks good. So on this new layer, I'm going to create a new layer. On this new layer, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I have black selected, and I'm going to fill that in. And of course, I want vector. So fill that in with this. And then it gets all WandaVision on me. No spoilers, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
But, you know, old TV screen type situation going on here.
Yeah.
If this isn't enough dots for me, what I can do is duplicate this layer and then use that nudge just to shift dots in between dots, and it just double populates these dots.
Totally.
But you don't want a file to be too large with dots in it like that, or else you're just going to overwhelm the whole entire thing. So this is going to represent the shading for me on all of these, right? And just to make sure I keep it all in the family, keep them all the same size, I'm going to tap that layer and I'm just going to copy that layer. And it's just going to stay in the clipboard for me.
Okay.
But I'm also, just as a safeguard, I'm just going to duplicate that layer too.
Yep, I hear you.
and hide it.
Backups on backups on backups.
Yeah, I'm a chipmunk it, you know. And now I'm just going to hide this layer altogether because there's no vector brush out yet for me to draw with those dots.
Mm-hmm. That's what you would like to do.
I would love to do it.
Okay, noted.
But instead, I'm going to grab this lasso tool, and I'm just going to color it or outline the areas that I want that actual thing to go. And I'm going to do it loosely and wild.
Okay.
I'm going to jump out because I know I can subtract whenever I need to subtract.
That's true. Marvin's got your back.
Thanks, Marvin.
Which means you can use the touch shortcut to swap back and forth between adding to the selection or subtracting.
Yeah, just remember, Marvin always have your back. Not only mine, Marvin is available for you too.
That's right.
And it would have been kind of cool, like since I was working on this one thing, if I would have kept that last selection visible. I could have came in and do what I needed to do with the subtraction for what I'm doing now. And for me, it's no rhyme or reason. I just know where my light is.
Yep.
And my lines that's in here, they're just reminders of what's going on light-wise for me. And this is where good old drawing just comes in, and, you know, knowing your subject and where you want the light to be. And
yeah, I feel like it's a compulsion, you know, like people ask, like, how do you remember to color this? Or how do you just, I don't know, you feel it.
Yeah, it's there. So it is a feeling.
Yeah. Jessica's asking if we watched any of the sessions from Adobe Max, and I happen to be the track manager, so all of the illustration tracks are actually mine. That I contacted the cool people to get them all set up and asked them to talk about certain things, and so I didn't get to watch them because I was really busy running around trying to do stuff. But I did pay a lot of attention to the feedback, and let me tell you, they loved Rob's session. You did so good, Rob. Thank you so much for your hard work.
Yeah, my setup will be way different this time if it goes down the way it did.
Well, I'm hoping you and Tracy can do it again, you know, and be in person.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know who we're talking about Tracy Ching right now.
Tracy Ching's amazing.
Oh, my gosh. If you're not familiar with Tracy's work,
get familiar.
If you have $1 bill in your pocket right now, and it doesn't matter how big or how small, like it can be like $1, $5, $2. Look at that bill and notice the etching or the cross hatching that's being done on that bill. And imagine your favorite pop culture character being rendered in the same fashion by an awesome artist. In a nutshell, that's Tracy. That's Tracy.
She's very skilled, and both Rob and Tracy do awesome vector work, and just having you all together is so good.
Yeah, we were trying to take that show on the road a little bit too. We called it Different Strokes because we both use Fresco in a different way.
Yeah.
And the main thing we wanted, the main message that we wanted to get out there was like, listen, there's no set way of doing this stuff.
Nope.
But you do have a mission of finding your way of doing it.
That's right.
So good luck. But here's how we do it.
Part of the journey is watching other people like you and figuring out how you can adapt it. And you know what? George says your session was too short. And you know what? I agree. I wish they were longer, but
God, I tried to rush through it. And that was the third take. I could not get it all in.
You know, they tried to do them shorter this year because it was online. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to be sensitive to the fact that everybody's at home and you're already watching a bunch of stuff. And so the Adobe Max team didn't want to overload you with like hours and hours and hours of content.
And what they wanted to do was just for the viewers, they wanted to respect your time.
Yeah.
And so the metric was pretty clear. I mean, how long can we hold your attention for what it is that we're trying to do?
Right.
And they basically ran with that.
Yeah. Hey, Wade is in the chat. Hi, Wade. I want to do a shout out to you because that piece that you did for Brooke and the Creative Residency Fund is awesome. Thank you so much.
What up, Wade?
Wade helped me out at Lightbox this year. He did a cool session for me.
I've never been to Lightbox.
Lightbox is awesome.
I've never been to Icon either.
Icon is good.
Believe it or
Lightbox,
not.
Lightbox is like my good friend, Bobby Chu. And so he's like a brother to me, honestly. I love him. So I got to support Bobby. Icon is Kyle's favorite conference.
I had a chance to go way back in the day. And I flim-flam and didn't go.
We'll have to try to get you to go because Adobe will be at Icon as soon as it feels safe out there in the world. So maybe we try to do something with you there.
Yeah, I was afraid to ask because I enjoy where you guys send me anyway. Like nothing beats off.
It's really
outside
great.
Of Max. Like Adobe Max to me is homecoming.
Yep.
It's like I went to college at Adobe University and I get to go back and see all my friends that I went to school with at Adobe University.
Aww. That's so great.
And that's just how I treat it. I don't even go to my own homecoming. Like
really?
Yeah, ask my friends. They've been trying to get me to go for years. Wow. I was like, nah, it's the same time as Adobe Max.
Adobe Max is important. Oh, Matt is saying he's really loved it. Matt says Adobe Max is like ribs and beer. The good stuff is really good stuff.
Gosh, they need to print that.
Right? And then Andre's saying that Tracy inspired them to start vector illustrating, which is so great. Tracy'd love to know that, I think.
Yeah. Man. And another thing that we did with the different strokes is we also talked about some of the challenges it could be to be a parent and an illustrator at the same time.
Which is something you both know all about.
All too well. And one of the things that we really credit our success to is having a bomb behind partner or spouse. Like
yes.
shout outs to my wife. I know my mother-in-law is also in the chat. Thank you, mother-in-law. Your daughter is awesome.
Back up.
Yeah, your daughter is awesome. But I mean, I wouldn't be doing some of this stuff if I didn't have her support.
Yeah, it's important. Thank you, because you helped me as well by helping Rob. So I do appreciate it. It's true. I wouldn't have you here. I wouldn't have you talking about Rob or talking to Max if you didn't have that backup. So thank you. Jessica is interested to know where you get your inspiration from. Like, are there people or books or website that really makes you feel inspired?
That's a good question. What's Jessica's last name?
It just says Jessica T.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Jessica. I'm a weirdo when it comes to inspiration. I don't feed off of things too much visually. I mean, I do. Plus how jacked up the Instagram algorithm is. Yeah, I don't get to see the post that most of my friends create.
Same.
Sometimes it's days later. Like,
yeah,
I had a friend, Bert, also known as Muskington. It's giving away a skate deck and of his Last Supper rendition of how COVID is.
That sounds so cool.
I wanted that so bad. But by the time it reached my feed, it was 2 days late. But what I do look at for inspiration is anyone who's living off of their passion.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making a living off of something that you're passionate about, I don't care if it means that you're riding a skateboard. I don't care if, like, for instance, Nigel Sylvester is one of my inspirations because he rides BMX bikes.
Nice.
And notice I say that he's a BMX biker. You know, he is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz.
Oh.
Mercedes-Benz doesn't have a BMX bike.
No, it's just he's that inspiring.
That's right. And I mean, like, that is beans for me. That's cool beans right there.
That is cool.
But, you know, he grew up in Queens, New York, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
There's another guy. He's a his name is Spencer. He's a fencer. In the Olympics and everything else, any other competition. But imagine somebody fencing. Take a fencer and mix him with an And One mixtape.
That sounds great.
So his name is Fencer on Instagram. Look him up.
Okay.
And watch how he goes between his legs and tags people fencing. So, I mean, it's simple stuff like that, you know?
It's people living their life.
Yeah. And I mean, I get more vibes off of that than to watch something visually.
I get that. You know, I do want to give you a time warning because we got about 10 minutes left before they're going to make us say goodbye and do our little recap. So you had mentioned about the long press that you wanted to give people. So if you're still happy, though, we don't have to talk about that. We could do it tomorrow. So you tell me, but I'm just trying to help you out.
The long press?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Okay. I know I'm putting it on hold again, right?
You're doing okay. We could put it on hold until tomorrow. I am here to serve. So whatever you would like, sir.
Let's do it over here. I'm going to create a circle in which I can work in.
What we're doing here is we're following up with a question on why long press is kind of a problem.
Yeah, and in Adobe Draw, you have an enclosed area. I guess this can serve as an enclosed area.
Yeah.
Normally, you'll just long press in that area and it will fill it.
Right.
Without you having to run over to the side and grab the bucket. The bucket was automatically built in. It was just a shortcut. But several things got in the way of that. Like if I long press now, look, can't draw in the hidden area. Oh, my bad. I long press here. It'll give me a dot, but also you can long press if there was color there. I can long press and automatically get the eyedropper tool. So that's problematic.
Right.
Another thing with long pressing is I can see where the machine will get it confused with this. Some folks always complain that they can't draw a straight line. You know what I'm saying? I can't draw a straight line to save my life.
Yep.
Well, Adobe Fresco is going to save your life because now when you do that and you just hold,
pop,
it's not doing it.
You
want to know why?
Turn it on. Why?
Yeah. You want to know why? Because I'm in the regular Fresco now.
Yeah, you got to turn it on down there. Experimental.
It's in the experimental? No, Simplify will be there.
Oh, you're right.
Hold up, where are you?
I don't remember.
Ooh, I don't remember either.
That's okay. Let's look in the settings though. We can find it. I thought it was an experimental, but you're right. There's a feature where if you draw a line and you hold, it'll pop it into a straight line for you.
Yep, it'll snap it right into a straight line. And there it is. Go. I was doing it wrong. And I mean, I can rotate it around and get it right where I want to.
And what I love is that it's got that pressure sensitivity. You still got that nice dollop at the end if you want it, right? Like, so that's what I love is that it respects that.
And I mean, let's get extreme. Oh, it didn't do it. Dang it. But I had wiggles in the line before and did it.
Yeah. And it'll like
and
pop
boom, and clean. Like, yeah. Iron them out just like it did just then.
Yep. So great.
Yep. So now with this right here happening, I can erase that. I don't want to deselect. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump back down to my lasso. I'm gonna double
Okay.
tap Marvin, and I'm just gonna select that right there
Yep.
and get rid of it.
Get rid
Then
of it.
double tap Marvin again. Marvin. How much time are we looking at? Because
You
I
got
think
about 5 minutes, my dear.
I think I got this pretty much covered. I just gotta fine tune it a little bit.
Yeah. You gonna show us them dots?
I'm gonna show y'all the dots.
Heck yeah.
In a second. I'm just gonna, for good measure, I'm just gonna trim this up, but I'm not gonna go all the way to the edge. This is a little more loose than what I did before, because I wanted to make sure before that I was tightly on the edge. Anywhere else I overshot here, I just want to cut that off and cut this off here. If you're familiar with drawing, then you're understanding what I'm establishing by not going all the way to the edge of the drawing. If you're clueless right now and be like, well, I want to know. What I'm doing is I'm establishing that rim light. So I'm not pushing my shadows all the way out to the edge, so to speak. I'm going
Yeah, because when things are three-dimensional, there's usually a little bit of light on the edge.
Yep. And it changes, it drastically changes the way your stuff looks. I mean, dramatically changes.
Not only does it make it look more real, it just looks cool.
Yeah, it does. It started incorporating rim lighting into a lot of stuff. You look at the LeBron on the cover of this thing that I submitted for this stream, you know, I was playing with that rim light.
Yeah.
Because I was watching an episode of Grimm.
It's a photo and it's vectors, right? Like, I didn't look hella hard at it. Sorry.
No, it's all vector.
Really? Wow. Okay,
it's all vector. And
that's beautiful.
Unfortunately, ESPN was like, it's too dark. Can you make it daytime?
Awkward.
Yeah. And I mean, I changed it. Shout outs to Astute Graphics. They had a plugin called Phantasm, and I was able to change the hue of certain things and change the settings just like I would in Photoshop.
That's good. Still though. Right.
Yeah, no. So everything that I want is selected here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit more. I'm going to invert that selection.
Okay. Right.
I'm going to turn Marvin off because I don't want to add another layer to this.
Okay.
I'm going to reveal this. So you see the marching ants in here, but keep in mind the marching ants are not containing what's inside of them. They're instead working on everything that's outside of them.
Right.
And what I'm just going to do is hit erase.
What?
And give it a moment because it's a lot of dots.
It's a lot of dots. It's got to take the time because those are all vector dots. So every single little dot is like another little point. Yeah. The team's still working on fixing that stuff because it makes points.
Yeah, and I didn't go into experimental and turned on simplified just now.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So
if this was simplified ahead of time, then it wouldn't take this long. Yeah. And hopefully we're not completely frozen, which I don't believe we are. It's just doing its thing. So it gives me a time to relax for a second and
it does.
Yeah. Have some tea, which is cold now.
Gives me a chance to remind the good people that we will be back tomorrow at the same time, and you're going to get to see Rob finish all of this off and put it all together into one big coloring page.
And not only that, but another surprise is going to be in there.
Yeah.
Oh, so we got the sound alert right now.
Yeah.
And the app has actually froze on me.
Oh no, it did freeze. Okay, what do you want to do?
I'm still working through it. How much time we got? Because I see both our heads.
We only got like 3 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll do that just because we don't want to make the good people wait. It's a little bit too much of a reveal at the end. So let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
We got some last lightning bolts in the chat for you. I do want to throw that
appreciate
out
it, y'all. Appreciate it. Thanks for sticking in there. Watch me outline some stuff and marching ants and, army ants.
It was great. I mean, I learned a lot just watching you. So all y'all out there, please come back tomorrow and get to see the last little bits of Rob wrapping these guys up. But don't go away because there's still a bunch of great stuff coming up for you on Adobe Live. But for me and Rob, and see, there you go. There's the schedule. So stay tuned for the Creative Encore with Paul Tranny. And all day we got goodness. And then tomorrow we're going to be back, me and Rob. So come see us again, okay? See you later.